Game on, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Box Score Radio, brought to you by the Keaton Podcasting Network. I'm your host, Jay Keaton. It is Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. We're back at you with another terrible Tuesday. I call it a terrible Tuesday because I think Tuesday is the worst day of the week. Monday's the start of the week, so you have a little aspirations of having a great week, something new happens. Of course, you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, and all the other days, but Tuesday is the most irrelevant day. So it's terrible Tuesday, but we got some great sports to cover. Let's start off with the NBA action from yesterday. The Nets defeat the Mavericks 127-88. Player of the game for Brooklyn, DeMar Carroll, 22 points, 5 rebounds. Maverick star player Dwight Powell, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Difference in the game is pretty simple. Field goal percentage. The Nets shot 56%. The Mavericks only shot 35%. Dirk, I saw, only had 4 points. And there was a report out there that he was thinking of coming back next year. Really? You're going to drop 4 points in any game and say that you want to come back? I don't think so. Retire. You had a great career. It's over with. It's done. You're no longer really relevant. So, pack it up, man. The Heat over the Hawks, 114-113. Player of the game for Miami, Josh Richardson, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. For the Hawks, Kent Bazemore. This is a new guy on the Box Score Radio Player of the Game list. 18 points, 7 rebounds. Field goal percentage was key here. The Heat shot 55%. The Hawks shot 41%. Fast break points were also a big difference. The Heat had 16. The Hawks only had 4. Spurs over the Nuggets, 104-103. DeMar DeRozan led the way with 24 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. For the Nuggets, Jamal Murray had 25 points, 8 assists. Statistically, this game is pretty much even. The only real difference is free throws. Spurs were 14 of 19. The Nuggets were a perfect 4 for 4, but they only shot 4. So when you give the other team 10 more freebies, it's going to make a big difference in the outcome. Suns over the Bucks, 114-105. I'm trying to understand the Suns right now, much like everybody is. Kelly Oubre had 27 points, 13 rebounds for the Suns. The Greek Freak was 21-13. That's 21 points, 13 rebounds. Field goal percentage was the difference here. The Suns shot 45%, and the Bucks shot 36%. I guess the Suns waited until they were officially eliminated from the playoffs before they decided to play ball. They beat the Lakers, they beat the Bucks. You could say they're on a roll here, but they're still the worst, the last place team in the West. And I believe second worst in the NBA. Pelicans over the Jazz, 115-112. Julius Randle led the way for New Orleans, 30 points, 8 rebounds. For the Jazz, Rudy Gobert was their main man, 19 points, 19 rebounds. So that's putting in some effort on the boards. Difference here, turnovers. The Jazz turned the ball over 18 times compared to the Pelicans 8. Give them 10 extra chances, they're going to make the most of it, and they were lucky it was only a 3-point game. So that breaks the Jazz winning streak. They were on a roll until the Pelicans brought them back down to earth. Kings over the Knicks, 115-108. Buddy Hield was the leading scorer for Sacramento, 28 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Alonzo Trier, who's a rookie that they just signed, bench player, he had 29 points, 8 rebounds, so he stepped up his game. Difference in this game, free throws. The Kings were 26 of 33. The Knicks were 18 of 28. Clippers over the Lakers, 113-105. Danilo Gallinari, 23.6 rebounds for the Clippers. And the leading scorer, or the player of the game for the Lakers, Rajon Rondo, had a triple-double, 24 points, 12 assists, 10 rebounds. He ties Mark Jackson for the only other man to have a triple-double with 5 different teams, which really isn't a great thing. You think about it, it means you were traded 4 times. But I said this on Twitter, I'm going to say it now. This is the turning point for LeBron's career. You know, these were the games, these make-or-break games, middle of the season against an inferior opponent, were games that LeBron usually owned. You know, when he was with Cleveland, it was the Pacers. You know, that was the team that he would beat. With Miami, it was the Celtics. This is a make-or-break game for him. They just lost to Phoenix. They're coming into this game at home, crosstown rivals. You got to take care of him. You got to put him away. LeBron had 27 points. He put in work, but he didn't do enough. And these type of games used to be LeBron's games to lose. And now it just shows that he's no longer the man. I think you're looking at the Greek Freak. You're looking at James Harden. Durant, maybe, although he's not having a great year. And then maybe Anthony Davis if he can, you know, get on a team that he actually wants to play for. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the turning point of LeBron's career. It's going nothing but downhill from this point on. I truly believe that, because these are games that you're supposed to win if you're LeBron James, if you're the king. So that wraps up the NBA scores from yesterday. Moving on to men's basketball, collegiate level. Number 2, Virginia over Syracuse, 79-53. Kyle Guy, leading scorer for Virginia, had 25 points, 7 rebounds. Tyus Battle for Syracuse was their main guy. He only scored 11 points, though. He was their leading scorer, along with 2 other guys. And he also had 5 rebounds. Field goal percentage, 55% for Virginia, 33% for Syracuse. 3-point shooting was huge. 18 of 25 was Virginia. 8 of 25 was Syracuse. And this game was actually rather close in the second half. With 15 minutes left to go in the game, the Syracuse Orange had a 43-42 lead. Then Virginia hit a 3-pointer. Then there was a couple timeouts. And then Virginia ends up going on a 27-6 run within the next 10 minutes and essentially ices the game. So I thought for sure this would actually be close, but Virginia proves one thing, that late in the second half, and they did the same thing against Louisville, they can put teams away. They smell blood. They're coming to chomp your head off. Number 8, Texas Tech defeats Texas 70-51. Field goal percentage and 3-point percentage were huge for the Red Raiders. They shot 50% from the field and 50% from downtown. Enough said. Number 18, Kansas State over TCU. I thought TCU were able to get the upset on this one. I thought that maybe since they failed the upset bid against Texas Tech, that they'd take care of the Wildcats, but Jamie Dixon's crew right now not looking so good. They're pretty much played their way out of the tournament. And Kansas State remains on top of the Big 12. And since it is Monday, we have new college basketball rankings. Let's first start with the men's rankings. Number 1, Gonzaga. Number 2, Virginia. Number 3, UNC. Number 4, Duke. Number 5, Tennessee. That's 3 ACC teams in the top 5. 6 through 10, you got Kentucky, Michigan, Texas Tech, Michigan State, LSU. 11 through 15, Purdue, Houston, Kansas, Florida State, Virginia Tech. 16 through 20, Marquette, Nevada, Kansas State, Buffalo, Cincinnati. And 21 through 25, you got Wisconsin, Wofford, Villanova, Maryland, and jumping into the top 25, UCF. All right, let's quickly recap the women's scores from yesterday. Number 1, Baylor over West Virginia, 63-57. Number 2, UConn over South Florida, 57-47. And number 19, Iowa State over Kansas, 69-49. Top 25 women's rankings. Number 1, Baylor. Number 2, UConn. Number 3, Louisville. Number 4, Notre Dame. Number 5, Mississippi State. 6 through 10, you got Oregon, Stanford, Maryland, NC State, Iowa. 11 through 15, you got Oregon State, South Carolina, Kentucky, Gonzaga, Texas A&M. 16 through 20, Miami, Marquette, Syracuse, Iowa State, Arizona State. And 21 through 25, Texas, Florida State, Drake, Rice, and finally UCLA, who somehow is in the top 25 even though they have 11 losses. So I don't get that, but that's a different story that I'm not going to talk about. All right, guys. I know it's a shorter show today. That's why we call it a Terrible Tuesday. Not a lot of good action from yesterday, but trust me, it'll get better throughout the week. We got some good games coming up, especially tonight in the NHL. You got the Hurricanes taking on the Bruins, and the Lightning taking on the Jets. Lightning, 50 wins on the season. That's tops in the NHL. Men's basketball, real good one tonight. Number 15, Virginia Tech, taking on number 14, Florida State. This should be a defensive battle. I expect Florida State to come out with a close win. And then finally, in the NBA, you got the Rockets taking on the Raptors. I'll take the Raptors at home. And the Celtics taking on the Warriors. I so badly want to pick the Celtics tonight. They're in desperate need of a win. And I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to say Boston upsets Golden State tonight. Okay? So you heard it here. I think Golden State is a 7-point favorite. 6.5 now. Late game tonight, but I think Boston pulls the upset. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for Box Score Radio today. Remember to listen on Podbean and YouTube. And remember to follow the show, Box Score Radio, on Twitter. And that is all the social media plugs I have for that. So, thanks for tuning in, guys and girls. And I will catch you tomorrow, players.